Okay, we're going to try to do this. This is the first film. This is a film of mine called Noodling. I chose this film because this is one of numerous films that I have created, written, and directed with a $0 budget. When you are a creative, as we all know, you have to be creative. And the challenges in making films when you are a filmmaker and that is your creative outlet are certainly that you rely on technology, you rely on actors and cinematographers, and you are going to need them whether you are them or you are collaborating with them. It is a project that has a lot of moving pieces and literally moving pieces, but here we are with Noodling, which I believe we shot 2 years ago, and I love this film. The film did not have a tremendous life beyond. I believe it premiered in Atlanta, the film festival there, and had a little bit of a run, but really it was just, that was fun all around, and sort of a simple, straightforward concept that would allow us to kind of work with minimal crew, work with minimal resources, tech resources, and people resources to pull off. And the film itself is actually quite short, but I've cut this down to under 5 minutes clip, and we're gonna try to do this in real time without pausing. I don't know how deep we'll be able to get in real time, but I want to just do a watch through with everyone. And if you want to watch the film and have the volume and not listen to me talking over it, and see the full film, I'll post a link below in the description. But just a quick setup of this film. So the film stars two actor friends of mine who are incredibly talented, and I love the work that they did in this film. Greg Tamura and Solomon Shiv, Solomon Landerman Shiv, who play brothers, somewhat estranged, who are reconnecting over a moment, and a lot of the nuance and subtleties of what their relationship is and what the dynamic is intended to play out in the subtext of their performance and throughout the film, to kind of get you there and to really understand who they are, what their past might be, and certainly where they go. And so let's get into it. I'm just going to hit play. We've cut the opening scene for the purposes of this, where one of the brothers, played by Greg Tamura, I'll call him Greg, he is waiting impatiently. He's anxious. He, two uses of the word noodling, but he is noodling on the keys, tickling the ivories, just to calm his nerves while he waits for his brother to arrive, who finally now has just arrived and is making his way up the stairs to Greg's apartment door. So here we go. This shot it's really the master and unusual for a lot of films of mine, but I wanted to really live in the master in this film. So you have a medium wide angle that is sort of split 50-50 by the architecture of this apartment. You have the inside edges of an arch that open up on the left half, and then the right half you see a door jamb, you see a corner of the room, and now here when they both enter, they are now squeezed inside this little arch on the left half of the frame, and you can see how dominant Solomon is standing next to Greg, and then his prominence remains. He's framed. Greg is now off camera. We're hearing Greg talk, but we're not watching Greg, which is unusual and unsettling as he moves around. Here he comes into frame. He's kind of rambling. He's making a statement about noodling, the second definition of noodling, which is a thematic tie-in for the piece. Solomon has not taken his coat off or his scarf, nor has he left this sort of archway locking him in. Finally, a different angle as he removes his coat, removes his scarf. Reveal, he is a priest. Still has not sat down. Greg kind of has to squeeze through the archway past Solomon.
Oh, I've been watching this.
Finally, we get this single.
You guys watch that, right?
Go back and forth in these pretty tight singles.
No, seriously. No,
Kind of a medium close-up to close-up.
normal for a priest.
But we're back on our master.
Just like videos of kids
Notice
playing
the separation now. It's actually, it is the same master, but we've tilted down. So now the architecture of the room is splitting the screen, giving a split screen vibe to just show how disconnected these two brothers are, even though they share a table right now and they share space. One other thing on lighting, the sunlight coming in from the left out of frame is kind of casting this glow over that room behind Solomon and also over Solomon himself. And then you look at the light on Greg's side. We've got this nice close-up of Solomon as he realizes the circumstances of this reunion are not what he expected.
Please just tell her. I'll make it up to her.
Greg noticed his further isolation being squeezed in the frame with the opening of the doorway. And the lighting, which is what I wanted to mention, the lighting coming from Greg's side is cold, it's white.
Are you asking? Is that a question? Why is
Just
that a question?
giving each of them a real sense of aura and what their character is.
Step down. Parish priest.
You really see Solomon processing Greg.
You serious?
When we cut to Greg, it's very retaliatory, it's quick, it's reactionary.
Thought you knew.
Solomon very composed, unfolding
Thought you knew. I thought
the
that's why you invited me over here.
circumstances,
What? No.
even though he's upset.
What?
Okay, I'll leave
Not
now.
squeezed in, really. He's gonna leave. He actually leaves the frame and we don't follow him.
This is fucked up, man.
We're stuck with Greg. You know, we really are in Greg's psychology here. Here he is, this holy man in the archway,
You can't even fuck.
and then
You
Greg
took an oath.
confined in the
Like I
parallel
said.
lines of the door jam behind him.
Hey, is that my marks
A little bit of a camera move here, which I love. It is janky. You did not have the right head for this on the tripod, but I don't care. I like the sort of nervous,
my own handwriting?
frantic move of it all.
Take it all, man.
Kind of looking in the eye, really wants to
It's
land
my
somewhere,
place.
but it's sort of struggling to keep up.
Very nice.
I thought maybe, hey, you
Greg
go
now,
back and tell mom and say, hey,
backed in a
Fred's doing
corner,
all
he's
right.
upset.
He's doing pretty good. But now, Jesus.
Notice the position of them. Solomon standing, really towering over Greg. The camera sits low,
No.
giving him more dominance. Greg still seated. He's seated. He's in a very submissive position behind a table, in a chair, sort of trapped. And he really doesn't want Solomon to leave. But he's not getting up. He's not using his physicality to do it. He's using his mind, his words, his, if you want to call it cunning.
She put me onto it. Kids these days, they're moving
I'm on
from
drugs
Molly.
now.
It's film.
A drug problem, he says.
Some sort of laxative. I don't know.
And then we fade out, and that's the end of this very long scene from Noodling. And there you have it. So some of the choices, some of the things that were really an emphasis in this film, very specific shot composition, very minimal shots, which also sort of was deconstructed from the editorial style, which was very few cuts and very linear cuts. With the exception of one time, a couple little smooth edges in there as well, additions. But aside from those, no camera moves, very static shots. Really give us a sense that we are ourselves not moving, ourselves static, and really, again, using architecture of the apartment in conjunction with the framing of the shots to really box in our characters or give them prominence. And then again, the sort of mixed lighting of the natural lighting with the sun, nice warm glow to really characterize Solomon's character. But then for Greg, the more submissive, like the more downtrodden character, very natural light, very unappealing light, and also just sort of light that just kind of, light that where he's laid bare in this lighting. And use of blocking, Solomon, who really prefers standing, and Greg, who just can't wait to sit down, does not want to get up. What does that tell you about him and about his character? So, again, even though on the surface, seemingly very simply shot film, everything was a choice. The naturalistic look, the lighting, the composition, the blocking, and certainly this being a piece that I wrote and directed, that, the writing and the directing for me for this piece really were interchangeable. This wasn't something that I wrote and then later thought, well, how will I direct this? What choices will I make? I really had a way that I wanted to make this from the start. And so I was writing a certain piece a certain way, knowing how the visual elements were going to come together and play into this. And so we will dig into a lot of this stuff much more deeply in the future, but wanted to kickstart this with one of my own films, Noodling. And again, please let me know, is this useful? What did I go too fast? Do you want graphics? God, I hope you don't want graphics. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out if I have to do graphics. But there you go. Just, again, getting a look at choices, directing choices. And sure, there were a million ways that I could have shot and directed this film. And these are the choices I made. These are the things that I owned for the telling of this that do create this effect, that is the effect of what you experience as you watch the film. So I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more, and take care.